Seattle's contribution to popular music is undisputed. You know the names, from Hendrix to Hart, Pearl Jam, Macklemore, and many, many more in between. In this series, we're going to examine Seattle's music community, in depth with unique performances, with interviews, and much, much more. We're also going to find out what makes Seattle, Seattle, and what makes this city on the shores of the Puget Sound one of the best places on the planet for music. Welcome to Sounds by the Sound.
Let's rock and roll.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Sounds by the Sound. My name's Andy Harms, and we are at Seattle's Garfield High School, which is a place just rich with history. Back in the 60s, when Martin Luther King Jr. visited Seattle, he spoke at Garfield High School. The list of alumni is long and distinguished, from Quincy Jones to Macklemore to Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix went to Garfield. It is a very special place. In today's episode, we are going to explore youth and music in Seattle, from the youth making music in Seattle to the people making music for the youth in Seattle. We're going to meet up with Grace McKagan, who is the daughter of Guns N' Roses and Velvet Revolver bass player Duff McKagan. Grace is an amazing performer. She's got a great band called the Pink Slips. We're also going to meet up with Chris Ballou, whose day job is the frontman of the Presidents of the United States of America, but for the last couple of years has done a very cool project called Casper Baby Pants, where he makes music for little kids, and I feel like even saying that sentence is doing it a disservice. He makes awesome music for little kids. He makes the coolest music for little kids. It'll be fun talking to Chris about that project. But first, we're gonna introduce you to a guy named Caspian, a 15-year-old guitar player who, I think about what I was doing when I was 15 years old, and what this kid can do is just impressive and a little bit intimidating. He's gonna perform right here in the lobby of Garfield in just a little bit. We're here to talk about a rising up-and-comer. His name is Caspian, and he plays the guitar better than I've ever done anything in my life. Absolutely. Caspian, thanks for being here, man. About when and where you got started playing the guitar, man, because you've been doing it for a long time, but you're also super young.
When I was really little, I used to watch videos of Hendrix and Bob Marley, and I started taking lessons when I was 5, just because the school I went to didn't take kids under 10, but I just really wanted to do it, so they kind of changed the guidelines and stuff.
When was the first time you performed in front of people?
I think when I was 7. It was just a really small thing at my guitar school.
Were you nervous? Do you remember being kind of scared of it, or was it a place you were always comfortable to stage?
Yeah, I've not really been ever nervous too much.
That's awesome, man. That's a good trait to have. I wish I was the same way. I'm nervous all the time. Do you play music with anybody in and around town?
I've played with Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, Mike McCready from Pearl Jam. Kind of from those two camps, a lot of guys.
How'd you meet Duff? How'd you meet Mike?
I met them through playing this thing called Play It Forward, which is this music in schools program that I think it was at the Moore Theater or something, and I was rehearsing or whatever, and I think Duff McKagan came out and watched a little bit, and then he told Mike McCready about it, and then
yeah, that's awesome, man. Again, that's a good place to be, right place, right time. But you're also super talented, and we're gonna show you how talented he is by doing a performance in the lobby, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna go down to the lobby and check that out, see how that goes. We're watching Sounds by the Sound.
Hey, go. Play slow. Hey, cat. What's that? You were going away, but it's safe to say, golden rocks and waves won't hurt you. You were going there, I just didn't care. You always had the upper hand in that. Blue jeans, just didn't care. You always had the upper hand in bed. Just didn't care. You always had the upper hand in bed.
Welcome back to Sounds by the Sound. Now, Grace McKagan is an amazingly talented girl, has a great band called the Pink Slips. We're gonna see a performance from them from one of my favorite places in Seattle, the Pacific Science Center. It doesn't matter if you are 5 years old or if you're 95 years old, there's something for you to enjoy. But right now, Grace McKagan and Pink Slips perform at the Pacific Science Center.
She's a femme fatale, she's a foxy fool, 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 she's a lightning bolt, she'll zap your spine, she's a rocking chair, sailing your moon away. She's a lovely town in a heart-shaped glass, she's a shooting star.
saw an amazing performance by the Pink Slips, which we have Grave right here. We couldn't be more excited. We're in the Vera Project right now. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Talk about all ages music in Seattle. You bring up the Vera Project. It is a venue, it is a club, it is an art installation, all run by the youth of Seattle. Let's just first kind of get a gauge of your musical background, both as a fan and then as a performer from band.
I kind of always knew in the back of my head that I really wanted to be a performer. Like I always did musical theater, so I always loved like performing in front of people and the energy you get from the audience and just kind of like the rush you get from it, even when I was like 8.
What kind of difference was there for you, if there was a difference, going from musical theater then to performing songs in a band in front
I
of
think it's honestly really similar because what I try to do on stage is like I'm a performer first, so I really like to entertain people and make them feel, I don't know, inspired by the show and connected to me and kind of like sort of understand me more because I try to perform for people that can't necessarily stand up for themselves, so I want Grave to stand up for them and like be a voice for them and be like that angry passion and power and just drive them through a theatrical show, kind of like David Bowie and Iggy Pop did.
Talk to your daughter, and we're introduced to her band Pink Slips. It's awesome. How's it feel to have a daughter making music on a pretty substantial level?
Well, as her band is so good on its own,
Oh,
she's super good. So I stand in awe of my kids and watching them find their thing. Like she discovered the Stooges, and not from me, not from my CD catalog or whatever.
You gotta feel good as a dad that when your daughter brings home the record that she's into, she's bringing home Bowie and Iggy Pop. That's gotta have a sense of pride that she's listening to that kind of stuff.
I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of your favorite places to play up here in Seattle? Do you have
Definitely the
any
Vera Project. I've played here like 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Now I like it because it's all ages, so that means like my friends can actually come. Like before I was 18 too, like my 16-year-old friends could come and stuff. So I love that aspect of it. And I love like all the bands I played here with. I played here with the Swimmers, and we're playing with the Garden next week. They're like some of my favorite bands. So just a lot of good memories here.
How have you grown as an artist and a songwriter in the last couple of
I think
years?
like a lot. We're not playing with just an acoustic guitar anymore, but also I just think performing is a great way to like really find out what you want to do and what you stand for. So I think I'm more in tune, and I would also say like more relaxed. Like I'm not as anxious as I used to be because like music is like therapy when I perform.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sitting and talking with us.
Thank you.
About the Pink Slips. Absolutely. We're at the Vera Project with Grave. You're watching Sounds by the Sound. Welcome back to Sounds by the Sound. Caspian has been turning heads here in the Northwest for 4 or 5 years, which is crazy because he's 15 years old. He's been doing it since he was 10. Right now is one last performance from Caspian and his band W16 right here in the lobby at Garfield. You're watching Sounds by the Sound.
Up on the roof in a white suit by the hotel, sunny smells. Blue, I can tell if it's the sky or the ocean below. Nobody knows. Up on the roof in a white suit, Hollywood sign. I can't decline, everything's fine. So tell me why everything isn't like this. A motion picture film just doesn't exist, yeah. Too cool for school, too cool for school. Everything's better when you jump in the pool. Everything's fine. It's so great when you look straight up at the stars. Don't seem far. Stars in the street drive around in their fancy cars. Aliens from Mars. They won't sail in the street for $10.99. I can't decline, waiting in line, yeah. So tell me why everything isn't like this. A motion picture film just doesn't exist, yeah.
you're a young guy, but you've also been doing this a long time. How do you feel like you've grown in the last, it's so funny saying this to a 15-year-old, in the last 10 years since you've been doing this, how do you feel like you've grown and changed?
I think the first 8 years were mostly focused on getting my chops up and you know, getting to be able to be a good player. And for like the past like 2 years, I've been really focused on writing because it's really important, and I enjoy writing and stuff because it's cool to be able to play on stage and have it be 100% like you crafted that. It's a little scary because you don't really know how people are gonna like receive it. But we've usually gotten good reception from our songs.
I'm sure,
It's
yeah. Is there a specific type of music that you like to play? Is it rock? Is it jazz? Is it whatever?
Jazz is really interesting. I really like funk. I produce a lot. I do a lot of like hip hop production type stuff. My favorite hip hop artist right now, probably MF Doom, producer Jay Dilla, and then like the classics like Ready to Die by Biggie Smalls is like probably like my favorite hip hop album.
That's so cool, dude. That's awesome. Have you tried to incorporate that with any hip hop stuff? Have you tried to make any or produce any?
I recorded like a live kind of instrumentation version of Faithful by Common.
Oh wow, cool.
Which is really fun, yeah.
To say, man, you're 15. You've done a lot already. Like, no pressure. I was just curious because you've done so much. Cool, Caspian, man. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. It's Sounds by the Sound. I think most of us know Chris Ballou from his day job, the President of the United States of America. But over the last couple of years, he's been performing under the name Casper Baby Pants. We're going to talk to him about that project at Archie McPhee's, a very cool novelty toy store here in Seattle. Right now, you're watching Sounds by the Sound. We are at Archie McPhee's, a store in the Wallingford neighborhood of Seattle, Washington, and I wish I could describe it to other stores, but that's the best part about Archie McPhee's is that you absolutely can. It's a place where you can get mustache bandages just as easily as you can get Titanic-shaped ice cube trays.
Ironic.
Absolutely. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Chris is definitely known for his time in the band The Presidents of the United States of America, but has been working on this project the last couple of years. Tell us more about Casper Baby Pants.
My second wife, Kate Endel, her artwork just totally spoke to me. And I decided to make music that sounded like her art looked. So I did it. When I played it back, the light bulb went off. It's kids' music.
Chris, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Congratulations with everything, Casper Baby Pants.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get out of here and let you play some music. Absolutely. It Sounds by the Sound, Casper Baby Pants.
Oh, googly eyes, you make stuff come alive. So don't cry those teardrops. Alone or in pairs, you belong everywhere. So cheer up and smile, smile, smile. Oh, googly eyes, don't look so surprised. I will put you on stuff. I put you on a small rock, now the small rock can talk. But what does it say, say, say? You've got googly eyes. You've got googly eyes. You've got googly eyes. You've got googly eyes. Oh, googly eyes, you make stuff come alive. So don't cry those teardrops. Alone or in pairs, you belong everywhere. So cheer up and smile, smile, smile.